Are you looking for a new math curriculum for your child, for your homeschool? In this video, I want to share 3 things to think about when you're choosing a new math curriculum. And I want to share how I look at a math curriculum with my experience and background in education. So please hit like on this video and subscribe to the channel so that you'll get notified whenever a new video is released. Okay, so the first thing that I'm looking for when I'm choosing a new math curriculum is the scope and sequence. A scope and sequence is a document that's created that shows what's in the curriculum and what order they teach it in. And the name that they give that document in education is usually a scope and sequence document. So the scope tells what's included in the curriculum, the scope of the curriculum, or what concepts are taught. And the sequence tells in what order they're taught. So what do they teach first and then next and then after that? And so when I'm looking to check out a new curriculum and see if it might be a good fit for my child, I always want to look at the scope and sequence document to see what the curriculum is teaching and in what order those lessons are happening. I'm looking for a curriculum that covers all of the main topics that I'm looking for, one that's focused on the basic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, but one that also includes those other components of math that are important, working with money, understanding fractions, all of those kinds of things, measurement as well. And then I'm also looking for a curriculum where the lessons are organized in an order that makes sense. So I want them to start with the easiest concepts first and then gradually build on those concepts to get more difficult over time. Which brings me to the next thing that you want to consider, which is whether the curriculum is a spiral curriculum or a mastery curriculum. I made a separate video that goes into depth about spiral versus mastery and which one to choose for your child. And I'll link that video in the description of this one. But I just wanted to share that it's important to know the differences between spiral and mastery math curriculums and to know which one you're looking for. That will help to narrow down the choices. So in general, a spiral curriculum is one where they're introducing all different topics and they're going to introduce it just a little bit, and then later they'll review and go back and add a new part, and then they'll review again and go back and add something more. And over time, as the curriculum spirals around on itself, kids will learn about a concept. So it might introduce addition, and then a few weeks later, it might add something else about addition. And then later, kids will go back and review addition again and learn something else new about it. So that's a spiral curriculum. A mastery curriculum is one where it's sort of divided into units. So when they're ready to learn addition, they'll teach everything a child needs to know about addition. And then by the end, the child will have mastered addition and they'll move on to something else. So the layout of a spiral and a mastery curriculum is very different. There are definite advantages and disadvantages to each, depending on how your child learns. And so you'll definitely want to check out that video about spiral and mastery curriculums as well. And then finally, whenever you're choosing a new math curriculum for your child, it's really important to have them take a placement test. Almost all math curriculums offer these, and you can usually find them if you go to the curriculum website. They'll be available for free there. You can download the test and have your child take it. I'm not a fan of tests in homeschool generally, but the placement test when you choose a new math curriculum is critical. This is because it will help you make sure that you start your child at the right place in that math curriculum so that they can pick up on what they've already learned and there's not any big topics or subjects that are missing. Different curriculums will teach subjects in different orders. And so it's really important that you make sure that your child doesn't miss out on a major concept because they hadn't quite gotten to it yet in the old curriculum, but the new curriculum had already covered it. This can be a way for kids to get really frustrated and discouraged about math. And it's not their fault. They just missed something important along the way. And because math skills are so sequential and they build on each other, it's really important that you start your child in the right place on the new curriculum. Now, this isn't necessarily to say that you shouldn't change math curriculums, especially if what you have isn't working for you. It's just important that you check out that scope and sequence document and then make sure that your child takes the placement test so that you know right where to put them in the new curriculum. Grade level distinctions between math curriculums can also be pretty subjective. So it's important that you choose the curriculum grade level that lines up with where your child is at ability level wise, regardless of what grade they're actually in. And so it's very possible that your child might be doing a math curriculum that's 1 or 2 grades ahead or 1 or 2 grades behind where they are in their grade in school. And that is totally fine and totally normal. And I would say even most homeschool families have their kids doing curriculum that is not labeled for their grade level on the front cover in at least one subject. So it's totally fine if your child is ahead or behind. The key is you want to take the placement test with them and make sure that they are starting at the level where they're at right now. So hopefully this was helpful. You want to make sure you check the scope and sequence, and you want to make sure that you're aware of whether it's a spiral or a mastery curriculum. And then finally, you want to have your child take the placement test to make sure that you know where to have them start. So what math curriculum are you using in your homeschool, and how did you find it? Share your thoughts in the comments.